Harry, here is not the first appearance of Batman from the Defenders, but instead Daredevil 62. This is by Roger Thomas and Jean Coleman, and it has a pretty good cover here. While it is not the first appearance of Batman from the Defenders, it is his second appearance, and the first one to toy with the idea of him being a hero. I am sure I will explain the Batman character in this one, so no point trying to quickly tell you who he is now. Roger Thomas didn't write that much Daredevil, and I think it was one of those titles he was the most unsure of himself on. He didn't really have much ideas, or maybe even interest in the character. He wasn't doing his best work on Daredevil, and I don't think many would disagree with that. This issue is good. I am sure he did other good issues too. But even this one, it focusing on a random bad guy that he introduced a few months earlier in Avengers. It smacks of, help, I am a bit lost and a bit directionless here. Daredevil is staking out a theatre where some crooks are going to try and rob the box office. The dastardly bastards. They are going to steal money from the local cinema. What scoundrels. For the record, I support this. I hate cinemas. I think all cinemas should shut down. They're basically just Disney multiplexes now. So Daredevil kicks these heroes in the face. I guess he is hopeful that eventually Disney will let him have a movie instead of only TV projects. And he thinks defending cinemas is the best way to go about that. The skirmish is interrupted by a new hero on the block. It is Batman from the Defenders, although he is not from the Defenders yet. He joins in and fights the thieves. Batman, he beats them off and upstages Daredevil in the process. Batman is a big glory hound and really basking in his victory, and the public applauding him. And then when no one is looking, he lets the crooks go. Now is our first break to explain who this character is, or rather his appearance before this. Avengers 69. T69. That issue, right at the end, gave us the Justice League, the Marvel team. They were pawns being used by Jeff Goldblum to fight the Avengers. In the next issue, the four of them were bad guys for the Avengers to fight. Among them was Batman, who battles Captain America and also tries to steal the statuette of libertarians. Also, one of them, the Flash, would later rechristen himself as Speed McGee, and, well, we will come to what book he was a star of later on. Roger Thomas uses this issue to fill us in on a lot of Batman's backstory. We actually never got any of this in that Avengers story. The entire Justice League team, they were things for the Avengers to fight for one issue. We didn't get anything in terms of character or explanation. Batman's real identity is Matthew Broderick, something I established in an earlier video to explain why this Batman is responsible for reckless driving and vehicular manslaughter. But his origin is that he was a very rich and very bored man who, through manipulations by Jeff Goldblum, was granted heightened strength and prowess and became Batman, and he fighted Captain America. And I thought that was Seaman there behind the two of them fighting, but it is meant to be Matthew Broderick swimming. This montage is showing him excelling at various physical pursuits thanks to his powers, which are at their strongest during night. It just so happens, when he goes swimming, he looks a lot like Seaman. We have a single panel cameo of Jeff Goldblum, and what is happening is Daredevil has very rapidly fallen out of favour with the people of New York. They all love Batman now. And Daredevil, he again fumbles around while Batman appears to be his better. Our plot is, and it seems crazy to say that this far into the issue, our plot is that Batman is posing as a hero. He doesn't care about stopping these criminals or saving people. He is in it for the headlines and the worship. That is why he let the criminals go before. He doesn't care. He's all about the thrill and the adulation. Daredevil suspects this, but regardless of Batman's motivation in this story, it does mark the first issue where he was on the path to being a hero, which he will be in all his appearances after this one. Give it 4 years' time, and he will be a member of the Defenders. He will remain with the Defenders for years and become an actual prominent hero in the Marvel Universe. In Defenders, we get a lot of character building and a lot of exploration of Batman. And although he is often overlooked, he really is the heart and soul of the Defenders. He is the one that is always trying to make the team work. He is the one that keeps them together. He is there every week. He is pushing them to stay together and act as a team. I recognise the irony of saying that while showing a cover of him breaking the team up. We all knew this was on the docket to be mentioned, even though it is a very minor part of his history. But Batman is in New Thunderbals. He and the Justice League appear in New Thunderbals a substantial amount. And Batman, he joins the Thunderbals for about 4 issues, replacing his former Justice League squad mate, Speed McGee. As I said though, Daredevil suspects that Batman is pulling a fast one, and so he impersonates a burglar and gets Batman to neatly exposit and confess to it all. So everybody finds out that Batman is a big faker and that he thinks they are all sheep and he doesn't care about anything. So now we have Daredevil winning the public over again by beating Batman in a fight. Very basic story, nothing new. But it also begins something else about Batman's character, and I didn't think that many people have considered it. Daredevil has always been a constant in Batman's career as a hero. Obviously, we have this here, the first time Batman called himself a hero, Daredevil exposed him as a fraud. Next time they meet, Batman, now with the Defenders, comes to Daredevil to recruit him for the team. Daredevil's other major story as a member of the Defenders was the Sons of the Serpent one, which was again heavily focusing on Batman, with the big bad of that story being one of his employees. Whenever Batman needed legal aid, which was about 50% of the stories done with him in Defenders, Daredevil would always be his lawyer. There's also the Mandela story, lots of Daredevil in that, and plenty of interactions between him and Batman. Even when Batman died, Daredevil showed up for the story. In 1998, when Batman came back from the dead, Daredevil was a big part of that miniseries, with Batman's entire resurrection revolving around Satan making a play to possess Daredevil's soul, with Batman only being, again, a pawn in a game, and him having to personally save Daredevil from damnation. What I'm trying to say is that there is a long history between Batman and Daredevil. Nobody has ever explored what that might mean or might say, but there is definitely room for saying something like Batman aspires to be more like Daredevil, or Daredevil is Batman's idea of a good hero, and that it all comes from this encounter here. I don't think anyone would call this story amazing, but it is an enjoyable read. Simple standalone story. There isn't much in the way of surprise, but it is good to pass the time. I will award it 7 thumbs up.